when you understand, you'll learn how to stand under. Oh, what you looking for, God's already got it. And what I like about God is God will use things that were sent to destroy you to build you. Things that were sent to crush you, bless you. And wow. Just look at your neighbor and say, better is coming. I just feel that better. Without surviving what you survived, then you wouldn't get a chance to see better. But since you survived, okay, since you survived, since I'm still here, as an indication that he ain't finished yet. The struggle is over.
The struggle is over. The struggle is over for you. The struggle is over. The struggle is over. The struggle is over. The struggle is over for you. The struggle is over. The struggle is over. The struggle is over.
Here we go.
The struggle is over for you.
Romans 8:28. Let me slide right in there. Right there. Romans 8:28. Could you stand for the reading of the word? You don't even have to look on your phone. 8:28. Let's read it together. Read it aloud. Read. And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God and to them who are called according. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, your pain has purpose. Your pain has purpose. In other words, God ain't letting you go through something without it having purpose. It's a difference when I know I'm gonna benefit out of it than when it feels like I'm going through it for nothing. When I understand what I'm going through is a sacrifice. That's how come your praise has to be a sacrifice of praise. I don't feel like it, but it don't mean I won't do it. Father, we thank you for your word. Speak to us now with clarity. Show yourself strong in this house. We'll give your name praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, your pain has purpose. When you understand the purpose of your pain, it makes the pain bearable. When you deal with the book of Romans, it is the epistle of faith, or the book that teaches us that all things are possible to them that believe. But the problem is there's times in life when life don't look nor feel like a blessing. Have you ever had that before? That it didn't feel like a blessing. It was supposed to be a blessing, but it didn't feel like one. Because, see, you have to know that if God done spoke something over your life, he's got to make it come to pass. See, everybody has something spoken over their life. You might not believe it, so therefore when you don't believe it, it's hard to walk in what you don't believe. It's not that it's not there, it's that you don't believe in it. I'll say it again. It's not that it's not there, you just don't believe in it. Okay? If you don't believe in something, you're not going to support it. If you don't believe in something, you're not going to push it. If you don't believe in something, because oftentimes life can make it feel like God ain't even on your side. You can be going through so much that you wondering, like Israel, where is God? Because it don't seem like it. But there's some things you have to know. Jeremiah 29:11, look what he says. Look what he says. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, said the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to bring you to an expected end. God says, I got a place I expect you to be. He says, and I want you to understand that anytime I'm speaking in your life, it won't be for evil. So if you're going through some evil feelings, you know that's got to be the devil. It can't be God. Because he says, mine are of peace, not evil, and they designed to bring you to a place I have intended before you got there. Well, how do you know that? Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed thee in the belly. God said, before your grandmama met your granddaddy and before your mama met your daddy, he says, I had already formed you. He said, before you came out your mother's womb, I sanctified you. Let me put a banana right there, because piece of fruit right there, because the word sanctified don't mean what we think it means. Okay, sanctified means set aside for God's purpose. But it also means one of the same, just a little different. Okay, an apple can't communicate to an orange. They both fruit, but one got peels, the other one got hulls. So if an apple gonna communicate to an apple, you have to take a Granny Smith and a Red Delicious. So in other words, God says, I need you to communicate to people with your sanctified self that you understand what they're dealing with. Stop trying to act like because you sanctified, you different. I need you to feel me, because if you can't feel me, you can't help me. Okay, maybe you know, some people, you too deep. You're too deep. And when you really deep, I mean, you're deep, you're deep. You really deep. You deep. And so who can relate to you when you so deep? He said, I ordained you thee a prophet unto the nations. I've already set you aside. I already knew you. I knew what was put on your life. Some of us don't recognize a lot of the pain in your life is trying to derail you from the place God has called you. Okay? Now, that don't mean he called you to preach, so stop being nervous. I mean, when you start talking about God calling you, people think that means, oh, Lord, I don't want to be no preacher. God says, well, I don't want you to be no preacher. I ain't calling you to be no preacher. God says, if you just be a person that can get what I got on your life, you're going to reach more people than the average preacher anyway. You don't want to be no preacher anyway. They don't like preachers. And then this is what happens when God speaks something over your life. In Psalms 89:34, look what he says. He says, my covenant will I not break, nor alter the things that have gone out of my lips. God said, whatever I spoke over you, whatever I called you from your mother's womb, ain't nothing finna make me change. God says, if I called you blessed from the beginning, you're going to be blessed in the end. See, when you really blessed, you ain't just blessed because you got some money. You blessed broke. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. When you bless, you really bless. You blessed in ugly places. You blessed in struggling places. You blessed when you fall. You blessed when you get up. Look at somebody and say, I'm blessed. That's why most people don't like you, because you blessed. They really upset because what God has designed on your life shines through when you don't even look like it. You was blessed at the club, in the club, doing your thing at the club. You was still blessed. That's how come people know you. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. That's how come you was the life of the party. You was the life of the party. God let you practice at the party so you could come to church and be the life of the church. Don't get to church and get quiet. Get to church and do the same thing you did at the party. Look at somebody and say, you've been to practice. Sitting up in church trying to act like, oh no, you demon. Oh no, holler, holler. You holler at the club, you holler at the ball game, holler. Say something. Say something. Say something. Look at your neighbor and say something. You ought to know you blessed enough to say, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. If it had not been for the Lord on my side, I'm going to say something. Okay, y'all ain't got to like me. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. See, I have to know for myself, no matter where I come from, all things are possible. And they're all possible to them that believe. The problem is, let me give you an ambiguity that we've given. We say God can do anything. You heard that, right? I come to tell you today that's a lie. And some of y'all looking at me like that. Where you going with that? God cannot work with unbelief. Because to work with unbelief is to violate you. If you don't believe something, God says, since you don't believe it, I ain't finna impress you. It takes faith to make God move, not your unbelief. Okay, you doubt my statement. Y'all looking at me like, okay, bring that to, Matthew chapter 13, verse 58. You doubt my statement? Look what it says. And he did not many mighty works there because of their unbelief. It was his own city where he was raised in. And he could not do works in his city because all they could remember was he was Joe's boy. Joe and Mary's son. Then they turn around and say, could any good thing come out of your neighborhood? Oh, don't look at me like that. You know folks ain't said no good stuff about you. I mean, not the ones that you was raised with. Because once you start doing halfway decent, your name go on the list, baby. They remember when you ran out the house with no clothes on and you were 4. They still bringing that up. They still coming up with that. They ain't got nothing else better to say. But they remember when you was in the struggle. They remember where you come from. That's like some of the hardest people to convince is the ones who got your last name. They was raised with you. That's how come they get mad and look at you and say, so you call yourself a Christian. They'll start attacking Christianity. You supposed to be a preacher. You supposed to be a this. You supposed to be that. For people who come at me, I come right back at them. You ain't going to come at me and I'm going to be silent like a lamb. No. You come at me, I got something to say too. Okay, you come at me, I got something to say. You talking about you supposed to be a preacher, you supposed to be a Christian. What's the problem? Just because I'm a preacher don't give you the room to run over me. You supposed to be a Christian. If you supposed to be a Christian, there's some rules and regulations for you too. And so the enemy job is to convince you by any means necessary to convince you things can't happen in your life. So what he do? He hit people. Hit people have been placed in your life to convince you that the blessings that God have on your life will never come to pass. Some of the people who have connected to you and you connected to them were not very good people. They had one mission, and that was to mess you up. Some things, your rearing messed you up. Because just because of your family don't mean it was right. Some stuff we just did because we was a Johnson. We was a Smith. We was a Cook. You just do something. I mean, that was known. Our family was known for fighting. Fighting. Crazy fighting. I'm talking about, fighting. Our uncle we buried yesterday, that's the first thing they talk about. Didn't take no stuff. You know, he's 76 years old and they still talking about don't take. But we were known for that. But growth tells you I can't do that kind of stuff anymore. Because it was a doctrine. It was known. It was part of the lifestyle. And so when the enemy gets ready to get you, he messes with doctrine. He deals with doctrine. Daniel chapter 1. And the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat. When you see meat in Scripture, when you see that, meat is regulated to doctrine, things you eat. Okay, so what they wanted to do was change Daniel. So they changed what he ate. They tried to change what he ate. See, if something wants to fix you, it gives you a belief system, gives you some instructions. And that stuff has taught you certain ways. The reason you think the way you think is predicated on what you have eaten. A belief system. Okay, y'all acting like y'all. Okay, let me show you something. A belief system. A belief system. This belief system, I said this in Bible study the other night. The belief system of folks nowadays are putting more emphasis on what's behind them than they are in front of them. Are you with me? It's called BBL. You're putting a lot of emphasis on what's behind you. It's a belief system. So you spend thousands of dollars on what's behind you and don't have nothing in your pocket. You spend all kind of money trying to get unwanted attention. And you're not doing it because you need it. You're just doing it because that's what everybody else do. Belief system. We'll do stuff because that's what everybody do. That's how I was raised. We have a belief system. When you have a belief system, it don't matter where you come from, but the belief system can dominate the whole region. Okay, what's the difference between West Mobile and preaching? Teaching. That's the only difference between, because they people, but because you've been taught a certain way, you act a certain way. The reason you snap like you snap, teaching. And you figure you can get by with that, because oftentimes people who project themselves as angry is hurt. And because they hurt, they have a growl. And they usually bag people up with the growl. A dog, usually when a dog is growling, it's because he's nervous. It's not because he's bad. It's because he's nervous. And he's saying, step the hell back. I don't trust you. I don't like you. I don't know you. And people do the same thing when you have that bad attitude. Get back, because I don't know you. And when I don't know you, I ain't trying, because see, you know why? I've been hurt before. When I trust other folk, they hurt me. I trusted, I believe. When I went to church, and so this is a belief system that we got. Ain't no hurt like church hurt. The devil is a lie. That is a lie. That is the biggest lie you ever heard. That's the biggest lie. You get hurt at church and get a box of chicken. You get love hurt, you stop eating. You don't want nothing to eat. You lose weight, you get all anorexic. You ain't never lost no weight with no church hurt. You went and got you something to eat to discuss what they did to me. But love hurt will take an appetite. Come on, what they say, come on in here. Love hurt will take your appetite. But then here you are. See, because doctrine has taught us stuff we've been fed has taught us stuff. And in order for us to fix some stuff, we have to be retaught. Because doctrine has a way of making us think stuff that's not even real. And guess what? This is where pain can make you shut down. I can went through stuff and the doctrine then got me hurt. And once I get hurt, I get shut down. I'm not open for nothing else. The pain that I'm going through, pain has a way, it can change how you think. If you get you hurt bad enough, you can think. You can go through so much that you don't even think life has nothing for you. And it ain't got nothing to do with life. It's got everything to do with how you think. People go through relationships, and then when you get hurt in a relationship, I don't want nobody. How you get that? Why you let that happen to you, pumpkin? Why you kill everybody else over one incident that you kept participating in? Because you wasn't a victim, you was a volunteer. And if you was a volunteer, you kept opening doors. Okay, back to the Bible. See, pain can take you through so much it changes how you see you. And you project that other folks see you the way you see you, but it's based on how you view yourself from a pain perspective. Okay, but it's going to be hard today. Ruth chapter 1. Now, Naomi goes to Bethlehem, Judah. She goes from Bethlehem, Judah to Moab. They have a famine. She goes from Bethlehem, Judah, house of bread, house of praise, to Moab, God's trash pot. While she's there, her husband dies, and both of her sons die. She left a happy place, went to a bad place, and stuff started happening. Okay, verse 13 says, "Who tarry them there that they were grown? Would ye stay for them for having a husband?" This is Ruth and Ophrah trying to figure out if they want to go with her. She says, "It grieveth me much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me." She said that because she lost her husband and her two sons. So she started to feel like God was against her because of what he took from her. Oftentimes when God takes stuff from us, we can see it as God cursing us more than God blessing us. Because first of all, you have to understand that if God selects you, he selected you with a purpose. So if he took something from you, it's because he believes in you enough that you won't change once he takes it from you. Because usually people, once God starts taking stuff, you start getting an attitude with God as if he's damaging you. I didn't say you had to like it, but you have to know enough about God that if he's taking something from you, he's also setting you up for something. So some of the worst things that happen to you could end up being the best thing that happened to you, but they ended up being the best after you sing the rest. But coming out the gate, it's like, oh my Jesus, why would you do a thing like it? You got to know God. Look at somebody and say, you got to know God. If you don't know God, when you losing stuff and they taking stuff and people are making fun of you, you trying to figure out what's going on, how in the world could this happen? And then, you can get the Job syndrome. You start thinking, God, after all I did for you and I praised you and I do this. And God said, baby, you ain't seen the rest of it yet. You're going to have to understand that the best is still yet to come. You can't afford to let where you are affect where you're going. Because, see, your pain can be so heavy that you cannot even fathom it. Verse 20, look what she said. Don't call me. And she said unto them, call me not Naomi, Call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me. She went through so much, she changed her name. Don't even call me Naomi. Call me Mara, because God done dealt with me bitterly. He done put me through some stuff. Has anybody ever been through some stuff where you just want to go off on God? If you didn't think he would take you out, you would go off. If you didn't think he had the power to stop your breathing, you would just say, I need to tell your head a mess here. And what people don't recognize, pain can make you bitter. And then guess what? It can cause you to reject what God has for you. You can be the went through. I know people that went through stuff, and when God send you help, you can't receive the help. First of all, you ain't seen no help before, because you was helping other folk. Now God send you help, and because of what you went through, you cannot fully receive it. Because when people try to help you, you know what you say? What's this for? What you need? What you want? See, you always figure somebody wants something from you because in the past everybody took from you. Then when somebody comes to give to you, you can't even receive it because you're too busy wondering. Then the next thing you do is you worry about how long it's going to be before it leaves. Oh, come on. Y'all laughing and looking at each other, but you know the truth. Because, see, in order for change to take place, you have to accept change and you have to make change. Don't nothing just change because you was praying. Okay, let me throw that out to you. Because, see, I'm just praying. No, you got to make some changes. You got to make some adjustments. You got to make a decision that I will no longer be bitter. I ain't going to be bitter. See, this is a season. You got to clean up all kind of messes. Because if you got blessings coming, you can't be bitter at folk. And since we hear them apart for a minute, for everyone in here who has a baby daddy, let me explain something to you. You got to forgive them. You got to forgive them and cut them loose. Because you can't stand around there bitter, won't even let the child go see the daddy and all that kind of foolishness, because you still bitter, but you wasn't the chosen one. You wasn't the chosen one in the beginning. You knew you wasn't. Stop trying to act like you know you ain't crazy. And then if you're dealing with folks who already had children before you got children with them, you didn't do no investigation. Because if you did investigation and they didn't take care of children before yours, I don't know what makes you think they finna take care of yours. Because, see, some of the stuff you asking from the man, he don't even have. You asking him to be a father, and he ain't had nobody to teach him how to be one. But you were so helpful. Yeah, you helpful. You gonna help them be. Because you know that's women with a mother in the spirit. All you need to do is let me help you. No, you can't help a man be a man. And let me say this, since it's Father's Day, I'm going to just rock this right here. Okay, for all you ladies who had to raise a son by yourself, stop telling your child you the mama and the daddy. You lie. You just one. You mama only. You cannot be mama and daddy because you don't even know how to be a man. Matter of fact, you don't even know how to pick a man. So you can't be a man, because a man got testosterone, you got estrogen. And see, what you do is you gonna make that son your man. Then you raise him up weak for some other woman to have to deal with him. Okay, it's Father's Day, I can do this. Come on. See, a man is where he's taught to lead and move and do things and be in charge. But when he's not taught to be in charge, then you want to get mad at him for stuff that you all right with. And see, some of us, you can be in an experience of blessed life, but you can be in so much pain because of stuff that messed up the blessed life. It can be hard for you to move forward when you're in pain. When you're scared and when you're nervous, you ain't trying to move no further. You skittish. You're skittish. You just skittish. Just anything around. Oh Jesus, what does that mean? Nothing. It don't mean nothing. Watch it, Job. Job had been through so much after he opened his mouth and cursed this day. He opened his mouth and cursed the day that he was born because of what he went through. Job said, I shouldn't have never even been born. See how pain can change your perspective on life? All this good living in front of you, and because of some stuff you done dealt with, now you rejected the good living that God has for you. You're afraid it can't happen for you. And so when you deal with Naomi, because of her life, her difficulties, the pain caused her to hear curses instead of blessings. When you done went through stuff, people can be trying to help you with words, and you don't even hear it as words of help. You feel attacked. You feel attacked. And when you feel attacked, you fight back. And you know what you do? Run off good help. You run off good help because of the pain you got. Because, see, sometimes pain can be so difficult, you can't verbalize it. Have you ever been through stuff that you can't even articulate what you're trying to say? And it takes the right people and special people to help pull out of you what's in you? Okay, stay with me. I'm going to get you through it. Because, see, if you're not careful, encouraging words can be deflating words. When people say good things about you, you know what your answer is? What you mean? That's how come they have to tell you 2 or 3 times, I said you was blessed and highly favored. What you mean? You trying to figure out what's negative when there's nothing to be negative. Are y'all listening? Because I'm getting depressed for you. Watch this. 2 Samuel 9. Ron, help me out here. This is Mephibosheth. And he bowed himself and said, what is thy servant that thou shouldest look upon such a dead dog? Verse 9. Then the king called to Ziba, Saul's servants, and said unto him, I have given unto the master's son all that pertaineth to Saul and to all of his house. Thou therefore and thy sons and thy servants shall till the land for him, and thou shalt bring in the fruit, that the master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, thy master's son, shall eat bread always at my table. Mephibosheth was the son of Saul. He's being handled by nurses, and while they're running, they drop him and break both his legs. Now, he was royalty before his legs got broke. So then he goes down to a place called Lodabar. He's hiding in Lodabar. David becomes king and sends to bring him back out. And when David brings him back out, he says to him, what do you want with such a dead dog as I? David never called him a dog. Matter of fact, David said, you're going to sit at the king's table. You're going to eat bread. You're going to always have something to eat because you're going to be with me. But he still struggles because of the pain that he's went through. How many times God is speaking to you, but he can't get you where he needs you to be because you're hearing from a hurt mentality? You're hearing from a damaged mentality. You're hearing from a dirty filter. So when the words come through, they come through dirty. When they were designed to bless your life. So when you understand it this way, the only way you can move forward out of pain is learning how to cut it loose. Look at somebody and say, just cut it loose. See, some stuff you got to learn how to cut loose. You can't keep riding it and hold. How long you going to keep stuff? How long you going to hold stuff? How long? How many payments are you going to keep making? I don't know about you, but if you repossess my car, I stop paying. Why would I keep paying for a car you done took and you got? Okay, why you keep paying for stuff that's behind you? Why you keep making payments and rehearsing? And so the enemy job is to confuse you and to convince you that you cannot move forward. But I want to tell you this. You can't move forward unless you go to Philippians 3:13. Brethren, I count not myself to apprehend. I don't have my hands on it yet. He said, but this one thing I do. I'm forgetting those things. Okay, the only thing that can hold you back is something behind you. So Paul says, I'm forgetting, which means to erase from the memory. Then turn around and act as a gatekeeper. So if I erase it from my memory, now I'm standing at the door and I get to decide what comes in and I get to decide what goes out. So if it ain't helping me, I'm putting it out. If it ain't taking me to the next level, it's got to go. If it ain't going to bless me, I ain't going to stay with it. This is a season of your life. You got to start making decisions on people and things and who's going with me and who ain't. If you can't bless me, you can't go. If you can't help me, you can't go. If you can't encourage me, you can't go. I'm tired of taking people who cannot help me. Half the time we got people who are not even supposed to be on our team. You just committed to them. And people, just because somebody help you out, you feel like you obligated to them the rest of your life. If you help me out, thank you. That's all I can tell you. That is it. I don't owe you not another dime. Because since you blessed me, God done bless you. And God keeps blessing you. And if God keeps blessing you, it's because you blessed me. But I'm not obligated to you. He is. Because, see, we lose our shirt trying to help people who ain't trying to help themselves. We hear stuff. We so quick to run to people rescue. I was talking to somebody on last night about that same stuff. Stop running everybody rescue. Stop fixing it. Stop. Take that ambulance sign off your chest. Because everything you always assisting. You assist folks who ain't asked for your assistance. That means you ain't got nothing else to do. Because if you had something else to do, if you don't ask, I don't have. And especially when I'm constantly helping you. Because see, what happens is people will start using you. And you will become their source. The old folks used to have a song that says, I recommend Jesus. At some points, you got to learn. Look at somebody and say, just forget it. Because you have to understand, words pour into people or poured in, good or bad, can be damaging. You know, we said sticks. That's the biggest lie I've been told to you. That's the biggest lie. Words hurt. And oftentimes, once they hurt, you can't get it back. That's why you have to have control of your mouth. Because when you don't have control of your mouth, when you snap, you don't mind saying what you got to say. And when you say what you say, you do damage to people who were sent to bless your life. Because they look like folks. But see, what people don't recognize is fixing you can feel like damaging you. Okay? Fixing you can feel like damaging you. If a robber robs you with a knife, he cut you to kill you. But when you went to surgery, they cut you to heal you. They both going to require the same amount of time of healing, but one was for your good. Oh, y'all don't hear what I'm saying. So that's why you got to know people and know who's on your side. You got to know that. That's how come a lot of people run from me, but I'm on your side. I'm on your side. I'm just hard, but I'm on your side. Ain't a Bree? I'm just straight up, because see, I train you to fight so I don't have to help you fight. I train you to be bad by yourself, and I want to be the cheerleader for you. I don't want to be the worker for you. I want to be the cheerleader for you. I want to teach you stuff that you can't be an Army Ranger or Navy SEAL unless you're willing to train different than regular people. Some of us are designed to go behind the enemy line and get everything that the devil done stole. And then some people have to stand on the sideline. But when God trains you different, it's because he's going to expect more from you. Because too much is given, much is required. So the reason you're going through a lot, it ain't because you're weak, it's because you got a whole lot coming. I just need to talk to some people who done been through some hell and some high water, who threw in the towel, wanted to throw in the towel, but looking right now, I'm looking for my stuff right now. I'm looking for my, because my pain got purpose. I ain't been through all this for nothing. I ain't been through, look at somebody and say, I ain't been through all this for nothing. See, the devil know you blessed to be a blessing. He ain't crazy. He know some stuff is headed for you. So when you hit Romans 8:28, he says, and we know. He says, I need to know what you know. I need you. Look at somebody and say, what do you know? Mm-hmm. I need to know. I need to know that not some things. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying, but I need to know that all things. And not only all things, but it's working together. Look at somebody and say, it's working for me. It's some stuff that happened to you in your childhood. Get over it, pumpkin. It's working for you. It's some things that come against you. Get over it, baby. It's working for you. It's some things the enemy sent to hit on you. But your celebration ought to be you sent it, but you didn't kill me. You didn't finish the job. I'm still here. I just need about 3 people who can give God a still here praise. You done been through enough stuff that you can just open up your mouth and say, I'm still here. I'm still here. You tried to wipe me out, but I'm still here. You tried to take me under, but I'm still here. Just high five your neighbor and say, I'm still here. Mm-hmm. See, every now and then you got to get to the point to where you know a bad situation is going to work out for my good. An ugly place is going to work out for my good. A hard place is going to work out for my good. God on my side, because guess what? What killed other folk, you survived. What took other folk down, you walked on. That's why you ought to celebrate for yourself and not let life or anybody else make you think. Because see, this pain got purpose. I'm as bad as I am by the stuff in which I suffered. You wouldn't be as anointed as you are if you hadn't have been through the stuff that you've been through. And some of us don't recognize the devil started on you early. You didn't get a chance to get out of stuff. You got started on early. You got manipulated in adolescent years that you was designed to be one thing. The devil manipulated you because he sent it to break you. But since he didn't break you, I ain't got to be bitter at nobody. I ain't got to be mad at nobody. Look at somebody and say, but I didn't break. It was a lot of stuff on my life, but I didn't break. A lot of stuff came after me, but I didn't break. A lot of stuff tried to destroy me, but I didn't break. High five your neighbor and say, neighbor, I didn't break. I should have broke. I could have broke. But the celebration is I didn't break. And since you didn't break, you ought to give God the praise. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I didn't break, because I come to one conclusion, that my pain has purpose. Don't y'all remember that Jacob had a son and his wife named him Benoni? And Jacob came down the tent and said, his name shall not be Benoni, but his name shall be Benjamin. I come by to let you know that some family and friends named you early, but what they didn't know, God wasn't finished yet. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, God's not finished yet. Coming through hell and high water, but God's not finished yet. And I need somebody to give God the praise. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, the pain I've been through tried to destroy me, but I'm so glad that I didn't break and I'm still here because I understood one thing, that my pain had purpose. And if you know your pain had purpose, high five your neighbor and say, neighbor, I am better, so much better because of the things that I've been through. If you know you've been through stuff and you're still here, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, I want you to understand that I'm still here. Well, if you still here, I need you to give God the praise. Don't let what you've been through stop you from where you're going to, because where you're going is better than where you've been. Although my outward man perish, my inward man is renewed day by day. I come by to let you know that your pain has purpose. And if you gonna give birth to your destiny, learn how to push. If a woman is in labor, in her most magical pain, the doctors say, push. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you gotta push in hard times. You gotta push in rough times. You gotta push in understand times. You got to push when you're confused. You got to push. Well, what does push mean? It means praise until something happens. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, open up your mouth and give God the praise. For I shall live and not die. I shall live and not die, because the best is yet to come. High five your neighbor and say, neighbor, I hope you're ready, because you ain't seen nothing yet. Well, eyes have not seen, nor ears have not heard. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, get ready for your overflow, for your good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Shout yes, because it's all good. All things work together for my good, and your pain had purpose. Give God the praise and let the devil know I am still here, and I will lift my hand unto the hills from which cometh my help, and all of my help come. Woo! Look at somebody, say it's working for me. Just two people on your road, say it's working for me. Your tears are working for you. Your heartbreak is working for you. The misunderstanding is working for you. The confusion is working for you. Look at somebody, say it's working for me. You about to get better. Look at somebody and say, things are about to get better for you. Prophesy to them and say, things are about to get better. get better. Grab somebody by the hand real quick. Look at them in the face and say, neighbor, what the devil meant for evil, God meant it for you good. Your pain has purpose. All things, all things, all things, all things, all things are working together for your good. It don't feel good. It don't look good. It don't sound good. But it's working for your good. And if you know it's working for your good, give God the praise. It's working for your good. It's working for your good. The turnaround is on the way. The release is about to happen. It's working. It's about working for your good. The devil sent it to wreck you, and God let him brought it to bless you. You ain't gonna know how bad you was till you overcome the thing that should have destroyed you. Confused, but it ain't over yet. Look at somebody, say it ain't over yet. It ain't over yet. High five your neighbor, say it ain't over yet. It ain't over for me. I'm gonna step my game up and get what's coming to me. Look at somebody, say it's coming to me. It's coming. It's coming to me. It's coming to me. It's coming to me. What was designed to stop you? Woo! It's coming to me. It's coming to me. Give God praise right there.